Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here, and this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast, the only show that brings you the latest scoop on everything basketball here in the Philippines. Whether you're a diehard fan, a casual observer, or just looking for some good old-fashioned hoop talk, you've come to the right place. So whether you're a fan of the PBA, the UAAP, the NCAA, Gilas, or any other league in the Philippines, we've got you covered. And if you're just discovering the exciting world of Philippine basketball, we're here to guide you through every dunk, crossover, three-pointer, and controversial college transfer. So get ready to be entertained, informed, and inspired as we delve into the world of Philippine basketball. This is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. Let's talk some hoops. Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here, and once again, this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. This is episode 12 of our humble little daily podcast about Philippine basketball. In this episode, we'll talk about whether, high-level, elite, blue-chip recruits, these are guys coming from high school to college here in the Philippines, or those who hope to play in the Philippines, should still consider powerhouse programs. I'm talking about really just three programs here: Ateneo, De La Salle University, and University of the Philippines. Okay, considering everything, how stacked these three powerhouse programs are, should blue chip recruits in the coming months and maybe next summer still consider joining these squads? As always, we will also spotlight your reactions, your comments as the fans. All right, so first, I'm going to read some excerpts muna from some articles about recruiting that came out several weeks ago. And I want to read them because these kind of highlight what I'm talking about. And that's how stacked, how deep these three programs in particular are here in the context of Philippine collegiate basketball. Incidentally, of course, UP, La Salle, Ateneo, they all come from the same league, the UAAP. And these are three of the, I would say, I guess my impression and the impression of a lot of people that I talk to, I chat with about Philippine basketball, is that these are three of the most, if not the top three most well-supported, whether it means well-funded, okay, they got the backing of their whole community, programs, no? At least in terms of men's basketball, okay? Sometimes that support trickles down to juniors basketball, women's basketball, to other sports as well. In an ideal world, that would happen. But for now, in this conversation, in this discussion, we're simply going to limit it just to men's basketball. So if you are a blue chip men's basketball recruit, okay, is it still worth joining, the Ateneo Blue Eagles, with Coach Tab Baldwin, Coach Golden Monteverde, and the UP5 Maroons, or new coach Topex Robinson and the De La Salle Green Archers? Okay, so let's read some excerpts first, no? Because these recruiting wars are really, or have really shifted into high gear already, as written here, on Business World. Okay, this came out on Business World April 10, Philippine time. So this was in the first third of this month. And you can see here the headline: UAP recruiting wars shift into high gear. And this is right after Ateneo. Strangely enough, I say strange because this is not really habit, of Ateneo. At least in the past few years, they don't really. I mean, a lot of people write about the recruits in Ateneo, but to have a press conference in school for two high school athletes committing to the Blue Eagles, honestly, I'm not sure if I can remember. I mean, there have been many marquee recruits in Ateneo basketball history. I'm thinking, did Kiefer do this? Did Thurby do this? Did the Nieto brothers do this? Did Jolo Mendoza? Did SJ Belangel do this? I don't remember them doing a press conference in school. Okay? just for this, no, with the head coach there and school headmaster or principal there as well, and the Jesuits there as well. I mean, that's something I've never seen, whether as a fan, as a member of the coaching staff of the UAAP juniors basketball team, or as a school administrator in Ateneo before. No? That's something that's very interesting for me. Is that going to set the tone for the future? I'm not so sure. Okay, well, it's definitely very interesting. They took a page from the American context, no, where you have the National Signing Day, diba? And you have these blue chip recruits literally sitting down with a table. Sometimes they even pick the cap of the school they're joining. But here, it was very clear. I didn't see any cap. I saw two jackets, the jackets you see here, no? The guy on the left, of course, is Rafi Celis, and the guy on the right is Michael Asoro. Based on what we know, because we asked him about this, Michael is the nephew of former NU Bulldog star forward Edwin Asoro. Okay, Rafi Celis born 2003, so he's turning 20 this calendar year. Michael Asoro born 2004, he's turning 19 this calendar year, if not already. I'm not so sure what his exact birthday is. But Asoro, I've seen him before. He tried out for Batangilas under 18 last year. Okay, did not make the final 12, but he was very promising and a very, very good player. Both of these guys, of course, obviously very good. So let's read. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm not going to read the entire piece, just this excerpt. No? So Katipunan rivals Ateneo de Manila University and University of the Philippines continued their relentless off-season build-up with more prized recruits, setting up a possible heavyweight collision anew in the UAAP Season 86 men's basketball tournament. The Blue Eagles, the Fighting Maroons, who took turns in ruling the past two UAAP finals, scooped up top high school reinforcements from Sacred Heart Ateneo de Cebu and San Beda respectively, as they fill their stables for a potential trilogy later this year. That would be pretty awesome, to be honest. No? Ateneo officially secured the commitment of Rafi Celis and Michael Asoro from their sister school in Cebu, a day after UP acquired the services of San Beda Rizal stalwart Chris Hubilia, also born 03. The Blue Eagles' acquisition of two Magus Eagles in Celis and Asoro came on the heels of the decision of Jared Bahay, another Ateneo de Cebu standout and the country's #1 ranked high school player, to take his talents to rival UP instead. Mr. Bahay, Mr. Celis, and Mr. Asoro formed an unstoppable troika for Ateneo de Cebu en route to a back-to-back championship in the CISAFI and a semi-final finish in the Smart NBTC National Finals, featuring the best high school teams here and abroad. So clearly this article is talking about the recruiting pool of both, no, or from both UP and Ateneo. UP getting Jared Bahay, okay, and Chris Hubilia from Ateneo de Cebu and San Beda respectively. And then on the other end, Ateneo de Manila getting Rafi Celis, okay, and Michael Asor. Now, how about LaSalle? Let's move to a different article. So this one's from One Sports. This one's by Raul Maningat from way back in April 8, 2023. And here, we see a list, no, per school in the UAAP for some of the marquee men's basketball recruits. I love this thumbnail, actually. You know, you see here Coach Pido right there with one of his marquee recruits for this coming season, SJ Moore, right there, also born 03. And behind him, you have Coach Topex with 3 recruits for LaSalle. You have Rael Melencio, Ethan Alian, and Boris Marasigan. And behind them, 3 big-name recruits for UP. The 3 guys from LaSalle Green Hills, Seven Gagate, Josh Coronel, and Luis Pablo. So let's read an excerpt from this. So the excerpt will be specifically about LaSalle. So De La Salle University Green Archers. So LaSalle will field a couple of athletic Filipino-American combo guards in Jeremy Robinson Jr., a standout from Mauna Loa High School in Hawaii, and DJ Mitchell, who's had NCAA Division I experience with the University of Hartford, the Hartford Hawks, the alma mater, I think, of former Team USA player Vin Baker. Okay, now, this article was written before Robinson reportedly, already left LaSalle. If I'm not mistaken, apparently Jeremy Robinson, was reported several days ago that Robinson actually left DLSU. All right, let's search for that. I want to verify that. Okay. So I remember that coming out of social media. Okay. So let's do that. You know what? Let's go on Twitter. Okay, and let's see how this go. Here we go. Yeah, so this is from our friend Naveen Ganglani. Okay, DLSU sources confirmed that Ice Blanco, this is the son of Cebuano hotshot Dondon Ontiveros, no? Ice Blanco and Jeremy Robinson will no longer be with the Green Archers. Robinson recently tried out for UAAP NCAA teams. Blanco is taking a break and his return will likely be in the NCAA, barring a change. All right, so there you go. So as of today, this recording, episode 12, Jeremy Robinson reportedly no longer with LaSalle. Okay. Next, expected to add firepower from the perimeter is Ethan Alian out of LaSalle Green Hills. The 6'1" wing, who is a native of Pampanga, if I remember correctly. Ethan, please correct me if I'm wrong. Averaged 12.8 points in his final year with the Greenies. Has the potential to be a dead shot in the next level. Meanwhile, the Archers scored a gem of a big man by keeping De La Salle Isabel's Ryle Melencio as a mythical 5 member in the juniors of the UAAP. The 6'4" forward, who's the son of former UST Tiger Richard Melencio, okay, posted 0.4 points and 14.9 rebounds for the season. I'm proud to say both Alian and Melencio tried out for Batangilas under 18 last year as well. They were able to get, I think Ethan was able to get to close to the final rounds of the tryouts, and so was Ryle, no? But both of them were not able to make the final 12. But I'm happy to see them both. I've coached against both kids. I've coached against Ethan at the pastoral level. Kid's really good. And I coached against Ryle at the Paya Aspirants level. Obviously, he's very good also. Ryle, I think, I'm not mistaken, Ryle, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Ryle, he spent some time in Japan. I'm not sure if he's eligible for Japanese citizenship, no? But maybe he is. But I know he spent some time there, trained there over the pandemic, came back, and is really just a very good player for the junior Archers. So these examples are just exhibits A, B, C, D, E, whatever, of how strong the programs of Ateneo, LaSalle, and UP are in terms of recruiting blue chip athletes for their men's basketball teams. Okay, a few days ago, I actually did a poll on Twitter, okay, about how fans feel, okay, about the recruitment landscape in the Philippines right now, especially in the UAAP and NCAA. So my first question was this: if you're an elite high school basketball student athlete, would you still consider going to Ateneo, UP, or LaSalle, considering how stacked these teams already are? Okay, and the distribution of the answers was actually a little bit more balanced than I thought. Okay, I thought that an overwhelming majority would actually say yes. Okay, but it's not even a majority. Only 40.8% said absolutely. Okay, 34% qualified their answer by saying if the offer is good enough. And 1 in every 4 responses, or 25%, flat out said no, they would not even consider going to these 3 schools because of how stacked they were. And I think the following day, I followed that up with another poll asking, and this is came on the heels, I think, of Robinson and Blanco leaving LaSalle. With the departure of some college players from their original programs, of course, this kind of alludes to the departure of RC Kalimag and Bismarck Lina from UP to San Beda as well. I have to wonder, is there such a thing as over-recruiting? And for this, I expected many people to say yes, and that's exactly what we got. No? Close to 88%, or almost 9 out of 10 people think that yes, there's such a thing as over-recruiting. Okay, let's spotlight some responses from some fans. Okay, let's begin with Alfred Garrido. He says, I'd fight for playing time. Through that, I'm going to develop my game even more. So for Alfred, it seems like, yes, I'll still join and I'll fight for playing time. I'll compete with the best recruits in the same program to develop my game even more so that when my number is called up, I can perform. This one is from Oloyski. Okay, he says, playing time is important for development. I'd rather go to a school who can give me a lot of minutes in court or on court rather. No? Look at Kai. I'm not sure if this is probably Kai Soto. No? Bumagal bigla development niya as a player kasi pagkatapos niya mag-TSF na tenga siya ng about 2 years. Puro lang training, walang competitive game. So of course, that's a bit of a tangent already because Kai is not on the UAAP. He's not part of the Ateneo, UP, or LaSalle men's basketball program. So, but I think what Oloyski is trying to say here is that it's not enough to train and practice. No? You have to see burn on the floor to actually improve your game. This one is from Joa Cobb. He says, the thing is, those said schools also have the best basketball program in the country. They have the ways and the means to properly train you. But the downside is, will I have the playing time? So you get good facilities, obviously great coaching, great training staff, but will you see the fruits of your training and practice actually on the court? And more importantly, will other people be able to see it as well? Especially if your priority is moving to the next or progressing to the next level, which is the professional ranks. Lastly, this one is from Mike Cruz. And this is, I guess, a response to the over-recruiting poll. Case in point is UP. At the end of the day, players need enough playing time in actual games. Pag di nabigyan ng playing time yan, lilipat at lilipat yan. Same case for Migs Goso. Wait. Okay, I think he means either Migs Oxon or Will Gozo. Probably Will Gozo of UP. Both of them, Migs Oxon and Will Gozo, are teammates, by the way, in CSB under Coach Charles Tew. Napanis sa bench yung bata. Okay, well, Will Gozum, great athlete, former Batang Gilas star big man. We assume he probably wishes he had more playing time in UP, but he's blossoming now in CSB under Coach Charles. I have no doubt that he will get good offers after college, whether it's local, international. If he goes PBA, I'm sure he's going to be drafted either first, second round. He's going to be used, magagamit yan. There you go. No? So to end this episode, I guess my takeaway here is there's just pros and cons, diba? As an Ateneo alum, I know that there are a lot of pros of joining Ateneo. And I'm sure, same with LaSalle, same with UP. These are great schools with winning traditions, okay? Maybe UP a little bit more recent compared to Ateneo and LaSalle, but still, the winning tradition has been planted, okay? If you join these programs, you're going to learn from great coaches, champion coaches. We're talking about Coach Tab, Coach Gold, Coach Topex. And being part of these programs and these school environments will open you up to a network of great coaches, great trainers, great players, great alumni as well. And that great network can help you even after you finish your UAAP playing years, even after you finish your PBA playing years, even after, you hit your 30s or 40s already. Now, the downsides of joining these top 3 programs. Again, very obviously, especially if you're not maybe a Kai Soto or a Kiefer Ravena or a Jeron Ting or a Carl Tamayo, no immediate playing time. You're going to have to pay your dues. You're going to have to maybe focus on training, on practice. In your first maybe 2-3 years, you might be happy if you get 5 to 10 minutes on the floor. And then maybe you'll only get maybe 1 or 2 years of really expanded exposure. Okay? So that's maybe a downside for a lot of recruits. Second, the recruitment pipeline for these 3 programs, it's nonstop. So it's not like, okay, I get my Fab 5 and I'm good for the next 4 years. No. If you're a recruit committing to Ateneo, Salle, or UP this season for season 86, in the back of your mind, you have to expect that next summer in 2024, you're going to have recruits coming in possibly competing for that same spot again. So that pipeline will never end. Third, these are high-pressure programs backed by big-time boosters, okay, and scrutinized by very rabid fan bases. That means that they will scrutinize your play, whether it's a preseason tournament, whether it's the actual UAAP tournament already. It creates a lot of pressure. For some recruits, that can be good. For some recruits also, that can be a big downside. Okay, now, my final word on this. The decision of whether to join an established sports program where playing time may be limited or a smaller program where exposure is maximized ultimately depends on the individual student-athlete's goals and priorities. No? If his primary goal or objective is to develop his skills and compete at the highest level, then joining strong and well-supported programs like Ateneo, Salle, UP is the best option, even if they do not initially get a ton of playing time. Remember, being a part of a top-level elite program can provide so many opportunities. No? Access to world-class coaching, facilities, networking, and competition that can help the athlete improve his skills, increase his chances of success in the long term, even after his playing career is over. On the other hand, if the athlete is primarily interested in exposure and building his personal sports resume or sports brand of sorts, then joining a smaller program where he is more likely to get more playing time, more exposure, and have a larger role might be the better choice. This can provide more opportunities to showcase his skills, gain traction for his personal branding, and gain recognition. Okay, this is a time-honored problem, diba? Be a small fish in a big pond, or be the big fish in a small pond. Ultimately, again, it's important to always go back to your goals and objectives. No? So if you're that blue chip athlete, ano ba yung gusto mo? What are your priorities? Okay? Also consider the priorities and challenges of the program that's recruiting you or giving you an offer. It's also worth noting that there are success stories on both sides or on both pathways. Okay? And that success can be achieved regardless of the program. Okay? Sometimes, maybe even most of the time, it all comes down to the athlete himself. Okay? His commitment to working hard, following his coaches, maximizing his potential and opportunities. If you like this topic, then you should like our future topics and discussions as well. As always, we're going to spotlight some fan comments because we value your reactions. We value that engagement. Our next episode drops tomorrow, so watch out for that. As always, mabuhay ang Philippine basketball. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed creating it. So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to leave a comment because we love that engagement. And who knows, maybe your comment might be featured next. You can also read my stuff on clutchpoints.com, Tiebreaker Times, and of course, FIBA.basketball. Follow me on Twitter at Hoopnut or Instagram at The Hoopnut for more content and updates. Until next time, keep betting on yourself, shooting your shot, and seizing the moment. Mabuhay ang Philippine basketball.